Hello, Blues. Welcome to the chat. I know that is a gutting defeat to take. Trust me. But welcome to the stream, nonetheless. It's a tough pill, isn't it? And it's just the manner of how it was done, wasn't it? To be winning, we got a relatively fortunate pen. Real Madrid were on top that second half. And, well, we couldn't even hold on to that. Yes, welcome to the chat. Now then, guys, I understand there's a lot of pain in us right now. Trust me, I'm feeling it. And this is City. I feel for you, bro. There, and to lose like that, I can only imagine how everyone in that ground felt. But, yeah, this is a very tough one to take for City. I'm just writing a poll. I do apologise. Big up Severin is tuning in. I think that this is important. Now then, before I get, let's get into player ratings. Get out of the way. I can't actually remember what I did for most of it. Okay. There is no hope. We're done. I disagree. We'll get into why. Because I don't think the performance was bad today. I think it came down to silly moments in the final 10 minutes-ish. Okay? I think the performance, sure, Real Madrid were on top in that second half, but I actually think the performance was decent up until that. To say that there is no hope, I find ridiculous. But to say that we are definitely not the favourites and definitely going in with the odds against us, it's absolutely fair. Let's start with Edison. Edison, I give a 7. Look, Real Madrid had 8 shots on target today. Edison makes 5 saves today, compared to the 2 that Thibaut Courtois would have made. Now then, I don't feel bad for him on the first goal because no, I don't feel bad for him on the second. I feel bad for him on the first because Mbappe completely mishits that. He doesn't deserve to do that. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't mean to do that. That's what I mean. He's completely sent Edison the wrong way, unintentionally. It's unlucky that first goal for Edison. Defense should probably stick closer to Mbappe. The fact that he's even able to pull off a shot like that and no defender is pressing him, I think is kind of incredible. But Eddie can't do anything about the first one. Second one, he obviously passes it straight to a Madrid player. I don't know what he's doing, but he passes it straight to a Madrid player. He almost makes up for it by making a save. Now in defence should probably pounce on Brahim Diaz. They need to be sharper onto that, be more ready to boot that away. And the third goal, my problem is, okay, Tausif Hussein, big ups for tuning in by the way, but Tausif, he put this comment in whilst the countdown was going off. Why was Edison coming out for the third goal? My issue isn't necessarily that he wasn't coming, that he was coming out. My issue is that he second guessed himself. He second guesses himself and decides it's better to stay still. For me, he's got to either full send it or he's just got to stay back. For me, he's got to do one of those two things. For me, he's got to do one of those. But instead, he second guesses himself and stays planted because he thinks Vinny will beat him to it, which he probably will. But at that point, maybe don't come out full stop. And that's what was disappointing. I think this was still, even with the 2 errors he makes, I think Edison was a good 7 today. Sorry, Connect, but Rico Lewis is League 2 level. Maybe Championship at best. Loan him until June 1st or sell. Loan him June 1st or sell. I'll talk about Rico because I think we need to speak about him. Akanji, for the time he was on, I thought he was brilliant. I thought he was so good, and I almost feel bad for dissing him. But no, I think that whole back line, people questioned Pep's tactic. People questioned Pep's lineup before we kicked the ball, and rightly so. That was a funky lineup. Look at it. 5 centre halves. See my Haaland comments. I'm sure you agree. Haaland deserves everything. He deserves everything. I love him. Build everything around him. He deserves verts and 15 chances a game. Yeah, I mean, he's such a good talent, Haaland. And by the way, I just want to say, I think it's so unfortunate that Vardio's not playing in our best teams, because I think if this Vardio is in, say, like the treble season, I'm not saying we're better, but I'm just saying like we just look insane. I think Vardio is so talented. It's crazy how good he is. Like, in the box, to chest it down to Haaland in the manner he did is unreal. And yeah, I'll talk about it properly. Sorry, what is this? Some programs just come on my TV, and I don't really want to watch that right now. I do like what it was, but I don't want to watch that right now after a blinking 3-2 loss in the last minutes of the game. Yeah, by the way, big ups to everyone who's tuning in. I do appreciate it. Yeah, Akanji today was absolutely brilliant. I will talk about Vardio more. But Akanji today was so brilliant, and it's a shame he got subbed off at halftime. And because I think if he doesn't get subbed off, I think the defence was still solid after Grealish came off. The performance started to dip when Grealish came off, but I think we were still solid defensively because we had all our defenders, didn't we? So Akanji coming off was such a shame. Ruben Diaz and Ake as the 2 centre-backs, absolutely just so good. It feels good when you see that we've been missing these guys, especially Ake. It feels like ages since we had him. I really hope he didn't come off of injury. I hope it was pure tactical. But yeah, Ake and Diaz today, I thought they were both brilliant. Ake saves a goal. The block he gets is absolutely brilliant on Ferland Mendy. I think overall good defending. City got to stop crying their heart out, says though. Are you referring to the Ballon d'Or thing? I'll look to the chat though. Yeah, but I think Diaz and Ake were absolutely brilliant, and Ake, look, I believe he gets subbed off. Does he get subbed off before or after the Kovacic goal? I can't quite remember. Quick look. Oh, not the Kovacic goal, before the Mbappe goal. Just after, literally just after. Yeah, I think Ake was brilliant, and I think we struggled a little bit more when he came off. I understand what we were trying to do with Kova, but I just don't think it went well. John Stones, thought it was really good. I thought Stones was so good today, linking up the play at the DM role for most of it. Did drop back into centre back as the game went on because we subbed off defenders. But yeah, I thought John Stones was so good today. Whilst our system was really cooking, I thought it was just really rolling well. Bernardo, I thought it was 6.5. I thought it was all right. Not gonna lie, I don't really remember much he did. I gave him a 6.5 because I remember a couple of all right moments. I think he's lucky to get away with a potential foul on Jude Bellingham on the edge of the box. But yeah, Bernardo, all right, he was fine. Savinho, so happy with his backtracking today. I think his backtracking today was so good. Like, he gets a big tackle on what's his face, Kylian Mbappe at one point. It's a big tackle, and he prevents an attack. He's getting the crowd up, right? And he produced a couple of more moments. His backtracking today is probably the best I've seen it all season, and it's so unlucky for him today because I don't think he deserved to lose that game. De Bruyne 6.5. I think Ederson 7 is high. Cost us 2 goals tonight. For me, I think that just shows how well he played. I think Ederson was brilliant, apart from those 2 errors. And I think the second one needs to be spoken about a bit more in depth because that is more than just Eddie. But the first one, no, the second goal that Real Madrid score is Eddie. Just pass it straight to a Real Madrid man and it eventually leads to a goal. The third one, the one that puts the nail in the coffin, I think that is more than just Eddie. That comes down to. Yeah, but Grealish, no, De Bruyne 6.5. I thought it was decent. Real Madrid definitely shutting him down a little bit. He had a couple of decent runs, but he didn't really have the freedom to do exactly what he wanted. Corners weren't great. Thibaut Courtois caught the majority of them. Grealish 7. He only played about half an hour, but I feel like we were looking really good when he was there. To be honest, I think he was so good when he was playing Grealish. He was the biggest shock for me in this starting 11, and it really showed that Jack Grealish, when he's at his best, I think he really offers us something important. Jack Grealish is a player that is almost a magnet for fouls, and Real Madrid, the last thing they wanted to be doing today was fouling us. And, and it showed because Jude Bellingham, Camavinga, players like that, I don't remember seeing them get stuck in at all. Because they couldn't, they get booked and suddenly they're out for the Bernabeu. And it doesn't matter how that game finishes. If Jude Bellingham's out for the Bernabeu, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, if those 3 get booked, their defence is suddenly even more crippled than it already was going into this game. Camavinga, who's a very key player in Real Madrid's midfield, suddenly he's gone. And Jude Bellingham, a very key player in the midfield too, suddenly he's gone. And if Antonio Rudiger started today, if he got booked, then he's gone too. But of course, he's injured. So Real Madrid, they couldn't really afford to foul us for the most part. And Grealish is a magnet for that. He got fouled within 3 minutes and he got fouled later on as well. But I do believe the second foul led to an injury, I believe, sadly. Haaland 8. He is meant to be man of the match, and he is man of the match, to be fair. He's meant to have the green 8. I do apologise for that. Small error. But on a whole, I think Haaland, 2 chances he got, penalty and the chance Vardy and Grealish make for him, were really good. And he took them. If he misses either of them, I can't believe it, and I'm devastated, and I really have a go at him. But other than that, I don't really think he got anything else. Don't remember him having any other shots. He did hit the crossbar at one point, but again, it was very much a half a chance. The big chances that he got, he took, which is the main thing. It's the one thing I can ask of Haaland. I can't stand watching my striker miss. But when you score, I'll praise you, because ultimately, you're doing your job and you deserve the praise for it. Just got an itch on my hand. Just opening another tab real quick. Just want to have a look at a couple bits. But Haaland the 8 for me. I think Haaland was good. If I think he had, I don't think he could have done much more. Foden 6.5. Not because he really did much, but he wins the penalty, which should have really been what sealed the game for us. It wasn't. But he took the penalty well, Haaland, and Phil Foden, big ups for creating it. Looked like he took a nasty knock on the knee there. So I'm kind of happy that he was all right. Because despite Phil Foden definitely being a bit more poor this season in terms of overall play, on a whole, I'd still rather have him than not have him, to be honest. Rico 6. He had some good moments today, Rico. A couple of good passes, a couple of good challenges on Vinny. I was scared for him when he was paired up against Vinny. Him and Phil doubled up on him, and it worked decently well. Now then, a lot of people probably be looking at Rico for the final goal, but for me, I blame it more on Kova. I think it's an absolute hospital pass from Kovacic to Rico. I really do. It's the only way I can see it. I think that is genuinely the most hospital pass I've ever seen. Honestly, Kova should just boot it out there. I don't know what he's thinking. I really don't. He clearly hasn't scanned. He just knows Rico's there and he knows nothing more. I can't believe they'd make that pass, to be honest. I know that you're under pressure. Of course I do. But, is that really the best thing in that moment? Pass it to Rico Lewis, who's dealing with Vinny Jr.? I don't think it is. I really don't, Kova. I hate to say it. I'm looking at it now. It's a first-time hit. It's not a clean one. And he misses it. He knows Vinny's going to press him. I don't know why you'd make that pass from Kova. I can't wrap my head around it, which is why I give him 5.5, because I think ultimately Kova makes the biggest mistake in that third goal. I see people talking about Eddie, and sure, he should be taken accountable for how he comes out, but I think Eddie is much more accountable for the second goal. But yeah. Rico Lewis, I think he was all right. But yeah, I think honestly Kova kind of screws him over there. I'm not gonna lie. I basically just covered Kova because other than that, he didn't really drive the ball really well into the midfield like we like him to. To be honest, it's like his best thing, and he didn't really do it when he came on. He kind of did nothing. I'm not gonna lie. Gundo 6. Look, I blame Pep for the sub more than I blame Gundo. Gundo simply ain't got it at this level anymore, and definitely not finishing off in a game like this. My problem is bringing on Gundo. Okay, if we had nothing else, I understand. But my problem is bringing on Gundo when you have Nico and you have Nunes on the bench. Whatever you think about Nunes, in terms of finishing off a game, I'd rather have someone with legs, okay? And as a midfielder. Nunes, like it or not, he fits that bracket. And Nico Riley was on your bench too, but you avoided him as well, as you always do. The Gundo sub is not on. I disagree with it, I would have made it if it was me. And, yeah. Marmoush 6. I can only remember one instance of him actually passing the ball, maybe twice actually. Other than that, I literally can't remember anything else for him. He only got about 10 minutes of play, to be fair to him, like Gundo. So, yeah, 6. So, yeah. Now then, look, some people at the end of my stream, okay, you're all entitled to your own opinions, of course. Football, that's what football's brilliant for. No matter how strongly I disagree with whatever your point is, no matter how strongly you disagree with my points. But people were questioning, people calling Pep out. Okay, I'll say it blatantly. People were saying Pep out after the game we had, and someone said Pep picks the team selection. Yeah, he does. This was the team selection for Sissy today. If anyone predicted that this would be the team selection, fair play to you, because you must be Pep. Because this is an absolutely unreal blinking team selection. I can't believe it. It's 5 centre-halves. These are, 4 centre-halves. And one guy that can do the centre-half, but has been left back since playing with Sissy, to be fair. So, no one would have predicted this. People probably had Nico Gonzalez and Kova here, or Nico Gonzalez or someone else, or Gundo and someone else, or something like that, and maybe a back four looked like this. For me, I think this worked so well for the time that it could, because this guy was a key catalyst of it. Jack Grealish, and was absolutely crucial to this game plan, because today I believe Chouameni, Camavinga, and Jude Bellingham were all booked in this game, which meant if they got a yellow, they couldn't play next game. Grealish, within the first 3 minutes, got fouled by Rodrigo, and later on he got fouled by someone else. I just can't remember who. You know, Grealish is an absolute foul magnet, like I've mentioned. And, sorry, just want to have a look at the stats there. We'll have a proper look at them in a minute. And sadly, one of those fouls obviously does Grealish in, because he gets it. He has to be subbed off for Phil, and Phil, sure, he gets fouled. He won the penalty, but he is not a foul magnet like Jack Grealish is. Jack Grealish will get fouled multiple times in a match. Phil Foden, he might, but it's not what his whole thing is. Phil Foden's the type of guy to skip past the challenge and run in on goal. Jack Grealish, so sure, he could do that. He's got that in his locker somewhere, but I think he'd rather take the foul. You know, manufacture the foul, make them foul you, all that good stuff. That's Jack Grealish's best asset since he's been at City. It's helped us so many times. You lose that though, and you've got no one else that really provides that to his level. Now then, I don't think Jack Grealish was the biggest loss in this game. I think Akanji was. Because then we had to slip in Rico here. Rico isn't as well defensive-minded as Akanji, and I think that this ultimately leads to this. Okay, unless Ake was injured, which I don't think he was, I think it was tactical. Unless Ake was injured. Sorry, let's have a drink. If Kanji didn't get injured, I don't think Ake gets subbed off so early. He gets subbed off in the 61st minute, straight after Real Madrid's first goal. Now, look, you can make the arguments that if this sub doesn't happen, he's obviously injured. Akanji, that was blatantly clear at the end of that game. So, for me, I think that this sub here is the crucial one, because it probably delays this one at the very least. And these two, it changes the performance completely, because we have to change how we play. You know, we have to change the system. It don't work without them. And it ultimately did us over. That first half from us, we were on top in terms of dominating Madrid. Stats were quite close as the game goes. You know, Real Madrid, to be fair, this time around they gave us a game, and like last season at the Etihad. But I think they gave us a game because they thought they could, because of our form, to be honest. You know, if we were playing like we were last season, or even treble season, for example, I don't think Real Madrid give us a game, because I don't think they'd be confident with this back line. But look, for the best of times this season, we haven't been the greatest side. And they managed to keep it relatively tight at the back. These two helped in that case. And to be fair, Jude Bellingham, I feel like he did his backtracking pretty good too. So, look, it's a tough one to take. And it's such a shame, because I genuinely think if these two don't get injured, I feel like the result can change. I really do. I feel like that is how big it was. I feel like that's how big the moments were, to be honest. I really do. Now then, for everyone that's Pep out, all I can say is if you Pep out after losing to Real Madrid, arguably the best team in the world, and look, if they're not the best team in the world, they always turn up in Europe. Like, they just do. They are Mr. You know, Cristiano Ronaldo is known as Mr. Champions League, and you know, Real Madrid, they have that energy too. It's their comp, they feel, and it's theirs to lose this season, considering that they're currently champions. They're the guys that want to defend it. And look, I don't think they want to go out in the qualifying round, to say the least. Look, if this was Leon, I'd be 10 times more angry. Against Real Madrid, not one you want to take, obviously, but one that just this competition almost feels like it's tailored to Real Madrid. I'm not trying to say it's staged, but it just feels like it's their story in their world and we're living in it kind of situation with Madrid, and doesn't excuse us. We should do better anyway. But what I'm trying to say is that there are worse teams to lose to. You know, if this was like Lyon back in 2020, if this was, I don't know, name other teams that we just completely bottled it to. I mean, we didn't bottle it against Lyon, we just didn't play well. Full stop. We have bottled it here. You know, we should have controlled the game a bit more after making it 2-1. You know, making it 2-1, there were 14 minutes left, and we failed to control the game. And after Madrid scored their second goal to level it up again, momentum's with them at that point. Real Madrid, I imagine their crowd would have started booming, and we make another mistake, and it leads to the third goal. Yeah, it's such a shame. Such a shame. But look, thank you all for watching. Big ups for the views on the stream. It got almost 300 the watch along. We'll move on to Newcastle. A huge game in terms of the top four race. At the moment in the Premier League, I believe we are fifth, and Newcastle are tied on points with us. Can't afford to lose it, really. It's at the Etihad as well. So, yeah, we've got to be sensible with it, and we've got to really turn up. Thank you for tuning in. Sleep well. You probably need it. Big ups to you all.